Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is very, honestly, I'm kind of excited to show you guys exactly how to do this. So a lot of you guys are probably not at your first client yet, which is okay. You guys probably are, but you just don't know how to find a more effective way to, get to clients, right? And most people on the internet, like they just, they essentially, I don't know how to say the word, like they just make it seem so easy to get clients at first. But if you have no skill, if you don't really know what to do, like it's gonna be hard, right? So obviously I'm not saying this is this is the most effective way to get clients, but for me at least it's been pretty effective. I've been getting a lot of bookings on my calendar lately as well from this method. But please, I just want to advise you guys, like if you've never, like just from the title of this video, the reason why you guys click, obviously this is another way to get clients, but if you've never cold called yourself, do not even think about hiring a cold calling team. Just doesn't make sense. It's like you've never played basketball and you're coaching a basketball team. Like it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense, right? So yeah, well, I mean, without further ado, I'm gonna start sharing my screen here. As you guys can see, this is just kind of like the process of how exactly you can go on about hiring a cold calling team. Okay, so first of all, you want to make sure that you have connections. So like any referrals, or maybe you have some people that that actually are people that hire in setters for you, right? Those like salespeople to be able to hire in people for you to find setters for you. You can either go that route, or what you can do is the cost-effective route, which is obviously because you have to pay them to be able to do that. That's what I did, but you can also post on school. You can post on Discord and the Discord communities like you are in and stuff like that. So that's another way. But once you do that, once you do find that specific way to reach out to people, that's when you're going to essentially send them a tech or like a form, right? So this is essentially the form, and like I'm gonna come into Discord to show you guys exactly what I did. If I go into premium jobs, you guys can kind of see like, look, AI consulting offer, need experienced reps, OTE, USA, blah blah blah. Why it stands out. Just make sure that they go here. Then there's a full detail document, which I'll get to that in a second for you guys. And obviously there's going to be a group interview, and you want to make sure that you conduct group interviews, just because like trying to sort through like one-on-ones is going to be very time consuming, and it's not going to be really effective for your time as well. So make sure that you do conduct a group interview, and then after that, then you can do one-on-ones, right? Then there's a form which they will fill out, which I'll show you guys right now. So this is a setter form. Obviously you want to make sure that you filter out the right people and the qualified people and the unqualified people from actually inviting into that group interview, right? Once you do that, once you send them this form, they just hit start. They put in their name. So I'm gonna just put in David O, or yeah, first name, or I guess David O, and then phone number. I'm just putting a random number, boom, like that, and then email test@gmail.com. I guess that's not a right number. Whatever. I'm gonna just put in a random. Hopefully this works. Okay, cool, works. Obviously, what country do you live in? And like, I'm not discriminatory of where you live, but like, I mean, obviously, I preferably want you to be in the United States because you are working USA hours, right? So even if you're only working like in Australian hours, you want to make sure that you know where they live so you can have them work accordingly. I don't want you to be in Australia. You having to wake up at like 1 a.m. every single day to just call people at like 9 in the morning in US hours, right? So obviously, what country do you live? How many sales experience do you have? What have you sold in the past? B2B, blah, blah, whatever. Instagram profile, you want to make, because the reason why I put this Instagram profile question in is because you can just tell like what type of person they are just by their Instagram profile, right? If they have nothing on there, if it's just like a black screen, like they're probably not even qualified, right? Because how do you expect yourself to sell to people and actually get out in front of people when you're not even confident in yourself? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, I'm just putting my website here. I send you some info, 2 sentences explaining blah blah, and then once they hit okay, then it's gonna obviously ask you if you're gonna be able to attend the group interview, right? You hit submit, yes, hit submit, and after that it's gonna come into Slack and it's gonna send me a notification about like the whole thing, right? So once that is essentially done, we're gonna come back into Discord and I'm gonna show you guys exactly like the whole detailed overview of exactly what they can do, right? So right from here, you can obviously see like, you know, they click here and it's going to give them like the website so they can do some research on helpful links like the Instagram, the website, and it's essentially telling them about the company, right? So like Ascendius agency empowers service-based businesses to like streamline their operations with AI, to utilize it with, you know, specific systems and strategies. The role, essentially explain them the role on what they will be doing, right? So they'll be generating monthly revenue, blah, 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 value of the offer, commission as well. And then obviously there's, you know, you can add in base and stuff, right? Bonuses, you know, and then just kind of like telling them like who we're looking for, right? And what they'll be able to, what they're going to be essentially doing on the thing. And the next steps and interview dates, they're going to fill out this form right here. And the next steps, you obviously can just put in like group interview right here. And I'm not going to lie, bro, like make sure like after the group interview, just delete the whole like offer. Like I'm actually going to just do that right now. Just because I still get people like just still like putting in like information in here, and it's really annoying because like, bro, like it's literally says March 16th. The group interview had at the time of this recording it's March 28th, so it's like, dude, the group interview's been done. Like, why are you still filling it out? Like those type of people, like, dude, just like, I don't know, like it's so weird. So once that is done, you know, once you're done with this, then that's when you're coming to essentially conduct that group interview, right? So what I'm essentially going to do right now is I'm going to attach the group interview right now for you guys so you guys can take a whole look at it. After that group interview, then we'll reconvene and I'll show you guys exactly what to do after that group interview. So I'm going to put in the group interview right now for you guys, for you guys to look at, so you guys can know what type of questions to ask, exactly how to find that right candidate and that right hire and stuff like that, right? So I'll put in that group interview for you guys right now and I'll see you guys after that. Sorry?
I thought it was at 3 o'clock, so yeah, that's what he does.
No, you're good, man. I mean, just be mindful of the time. It's 10 a.m. Eastern. So this offer strictly in the US. It's only
What's
Charlotte.
the different time zone?
Sorry, can you go ahead? What'd you say?
Also, no UK people at all.
No, you can work in UK, but this
So
offer.
no UK people at all.
No, obviously we have UK people. We work with you.
Yeah, so I understand that, yeah.
Yeah, but this is strictly just US based, you know, time zone.
Right, perfect.
Well, let me see. Is everyone in here?
Yeah.
Liam's in here. Mohammed, John. If you can mute yourself, Blue, just for the sake of the meeting here. And then John's in here. Okay, cool. Well, it looks like everyone's in here. All right. Well, obviously, I'm gonna just get started real quick. Obviously, I'm gonna be pretty optimized of our time here a lot together, guys. So appreciate you guys' time. Obviously, this offer is very interesting. It's more like an AI offer. You guys probably did see the documents. Not too sure if you guys did, but pretty much I'll be asking you guys questions. I'll be pretty much telling you guys exactly what the offer is, see if it aligns to what you guys are looking for. And after, you know, I ask you guys questions, you guys can have questions for me at the end. And at the end of the meeting, we'll pretty much I'll pretty much talk with my colleague, with the team, decide what's best for the company, and then we'll pretty much conduct one-on-one meetings to further onboard you guys as well. So yeah, I mean, without further ado, let's just get started. So just to give you guys some clarity on the offer itself, right? So pretty much what we do here is we essentially work mostly with B2B owners. So that could be healthcare, that could be, you know, chiropractors, dental clinics, that could be home service-based businesses as well, right? So it's pretty much all service-based in terms of high intent business owners. So it's not really B2B, B2C, if that makes sense, right? Price point of the offer is anywhere from 2.5K all the way up until 10K. So you guys will be receiving 10% commissions per set close, right? So let's say that a $10,000 offer is closed, you guys will be receiving 10% of that, which is $1,000, right? And you guys will also be receiving the base as well, which we'll be talking about that on our one-on-ones. And yeah, I mean, essentially with the offer, you know, it's pretty much all AI workflows, AI automations. So what we're essentially doing in our motto here is we're essentially creating automations and workflows to help business owners, help B2B owners themselves to save time, increase revenue, and generate more leads as well, right? Through automation, through AI. So it's not like all manually. I know a lot of people out there, and a lot of business owners out there are trying to just do everything manually, and it's kind of costing them a lot of time, and it's also costing them a lot of revenue as well because they're kind of focusing on trying to do everything all at once themselves, right? So that's pretty much the offer pain point, and that's what we serve. And typically you will be working with a team of developers as well on the team. So you'll be working with me directly. There is a closer coming on as well. So I'll be onboarding them as soon as possible once I'm done with this meeting. So you'll typically be working with me directly as well as the closer. So it's kind of like a small sales team. Honestly, this offer is good for beginners. So if you don't really have experience in the past before, I mean, you're pretty much in luck to be learning a lot here. And that's pretty much it in terms of the offer. You know, obviously, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me away at the end of the meeting. But other than that, that's pretty much how the offer is. And that's just that just sums up a bit of clarity of what the offer stands for. Cool. So let's get started. I do have a few questions for all of you guys. So typically, like I said, I want to kind of be mindful of our time here today. So try to make questions or like your answers like anywhere from like a minute or under, or like a minute and 30, just because everyone's kind of going to go on through this group interview. I'm pretty curious to ask, has anyone ever done group interviews before? Or is this like your first time?
I've done
Yeah. I've done multiple.
Okay, cool. So you guys are familiar already. Cool. Well, I'll just do kind of like I'll just choose someone then, and then from that order, you guys can just kind of popcorn. So you guys can choose. For example, if I choose Mohammed, you can choose Liam to speak next, right? So it'll kind of be popcorn style. But other than that, I want to ask you guys the first question, which is, what made you guys interested in the offer itself? Like, what you guys went through the documents, you guys probably saw exactly what it is that I do with the offer and what we do here at the company. So what made you guys interested in the offer itself? I'm gonna go with, let's start with you, John. Let's start off with you.
Sure. Okay, so basically what made me interested is I've been working with another company on another offer, right, where we also did kind of the same thing. And that just didn't give me anything, right? I was on that offer for what, 4 months without getting any cash flow. Made $0 from that because it was just kind of inconsistent. There's no kind of consistent lead flow in anything. And ads were also just all over the place. You kind of closed them sometimes and it was just annoying. And I felt like this was much more structured in a way that the communication would be better. There's something that's actually proven. And to be honest, it just seemed a lot more better than the previous, also because I have a bit of knowledge in the CRM and AI kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
Should I just pick another one?
Yeah, you can just pick someone else.
Blue, go ahead.
Thank you. So what got me interested in this, obviously I've worked in B2B before, worked in a B2B Dubai company implementing AI in a solar panel company, so I understand the space very well. And I would also understand how structured AI is and how it helps a business. So I'm really interested in an offer that can actually help a business and implement value to the business. So with AI, obviously, I know what I do in AI, so I'll just say what got me really interested in structure, and I also understand B2B a lot and B2C, so I'll just really say that's it really.
Okay, cool beans.
So Liam.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so the reason I wanted to work for you is just because I seen you've been in this industry for about a year, and I just want to work for something that I believe in, and I feel like you would be able to actually make those impacts on business, and I want to make that be a part of that.
Awesome to hear.
Oh, gotta choose. Okay, let me scroll back a little bit. Let's choose close. Wait, no, that's the note taker.
Yeah, that's my note taker. Mohammed,
I
you're
guess-
the last one. You can go ahead, dude.
Yeah. Wait, pardon, what's going on?
Looks like Mohammed's frozen. Can you hear me, Mohammed? You're next.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, all right. Yeah. So basically, it's kind of the same thing, but for me, like personally, I've been on offers that was, a bit just like this one. So I already have, some knowledge in the space of AI, doing AI and stuff like that. So it's also kind of why I chose this offer. And me and John are kind of in this together, kind of, partners. So that's also, like he gives me offers to apply to, I give him offers to apply to. So kind of apply to this together. Just wanted to mention that. But yeah, it's kind of the same thing as Liam said. I just want to be a part of, a place that can actually help businesses and actually grow.
100%. Appreciate that. Cool. Well, let's go in the opposite order now. So we went from John to Blue to Liam and Mohammed. Let's start this question with you, Mohammed, and then we'll just kind of reverse back. What's your experience? You mentioned that you've been on an offer before, right? Even if you're not on, if you've never been on an offer, like what was kind of like your experience in terms of like what made you get into sales and what really intrigued you about it?
Yeah, so basically, I worked like some time ago. I think like 1 or 2 years ago, I worked at a restaurant where I was basically managing customers, booking tables, handling calls, appointments, stuff like that. And like that shit was just so tiring. But it kind of also transitions a bit, into sales, like with all the customer managing and stuff like that. Talking to customers daily and booking appointments and tables. So I started, getting into high ticket sales, after this summer, and it was basically I joined a program where I was getting coached by top level mentors, and after that, I was like learning high ticket sales for like 2 months, 3 months, where it was strictly on my progress on my growth, and like I started looking for offers, stuff like that. I've been on 4 to 5 offers. I think like 2 of them was DM offers, and then the rest was B2B offers. I've done cold calling, cold outbound, and I've also handled inbound leads. Hey, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, let's go with you, Liam. What's your experience like?
Perfect. So for me, I don't have any roles to point towards. I haven't been on a role, but what really got me into the realm of high ticket sales is I've always seen communication as just like an amazing thing where you can connect to people. Like it increases your like entire foundation of living because you're able to connect with the people you love. And then sales is kind of like that, and it allows me to improve my communication at the same time as make money off that together. And I also did run my own small business before. It was nothing crazy. Like it was dog walking, but I was getting a bunch of leads in, and I was having to call them. I had to book them on a call with me, and then I'd have to close them, and I'd be closing them for like up to like $400 low ticket deals. So it was my sort of practice for setting.
Okay, perfect. Let's go with you, Blue.
Yeah, so my full sales experience since when I was 16, I left school. I went straight to corporate phone sales, and I was one of the top performers in there. And I was doing that roughly for about 3 years. And also, my family has also been involved in sales, so that's got me really into it. And then also, my friend started getting high ticket sales with no prior experience, and I thought if he can be making that much money with all this private with no experience, imagine what I could do. So then I moved into the high ticket space. I invested in a one-on-one mentorship from Echelon Community, which was 2,200. And since then, I worked on many high-level offers such as Tristan Social, got over 1 million followers on Instagram, a dating coach, a trading offer, MA Trading, and multiple more, Max Turner. So, like I said, I understand the psychology of all different prospects, from dialing on the confident on the phone. So that's just my main sales experience, really just a quick sales experience. So that's it, yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that you work with Mac Turner. Did you buy into this program, or what exactly? How was your experience with him?
No, so I was a DM set for Max Turner.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, but you mentioned that you were in a different
So
mentorship.
yeah, so the mentorship which I invested in was at Echelon Community.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
all the names that I mentioned, that was offers that I've worked on previously. And I've worked on a B2B AI system too.
Okay, cool. Let's go with you, John.
Yeah, a lot like Mo. Like I said, we were into this together, so we did buy into the same kind of course where we got top tier kind of coaching and everything going on with that. We mocked a lot with each other. Then we hopped on the same offer. From there, B2B with CRMs and AI. From that, I was offered a new offer, but since me and Mo were into this together, I stayed on that, hoping it would be better. Didn't turn out as great as we would ideally want to. And pretty recently, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, communication stopped a lot with the owner of the company we were on. So we decided to kind of find a new offer, and that's kind of where I am now, me and Mo. This is a cold calling where we sell also AI to B2B, ideally hair loss clinics and S&P right now, and that's kind of where I am.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, just to give you guys some clarity here, right? I mean, this offer, obviously, it's both inbound and outbound, right? Obviously, it's gonna be a little bit more inbound just because there's gonna be more warm leads coming in. So you'll be targeting warm leads, right? People who actually come into funnels. We already have post booking systems as well. So whenever someone goes in the funnel, they'll be, when they do book an appointment as well, right? They'll be constantly getting reminders. So it's obviously like all the automations are already in place, all the systems are in place. But obviously there is going to be some cold, not cold calling, but like cold outbound as well, right? So it's kind of like a mixture of both. It's not just strictly cold calling, because I feel like that's not really, that's more of like a startup, but it's both inbound and outbound. So it's more of like cold and warm leads coming in. Cool. Third, let's start with you. Let's start with you, John. Outside of work, right? I mean, outside of you guys on the dialing, outside of you guys on the phones, what does like your typical work day look like, or your just typical day in general?
Typical day. I've dropped out of school, so right now what I do in the morning is work. And because you said this is US based, right? Yeah, then they'll be sleeping. So after work, I usually hit the gym, and then I get mentally prepared, do some kind of mocks with Mo or something like that, along the lines of that, and then get to dialing from there.
Okay, gotcha. You're based in the UK, John, or
Denmark, so an hour ahead of UK.
okay, gotcha. So that's like what? That's like 10 a.m. So what time is it for you right now?
3 p.m. right now.
2 p.m. Okay.
3
p.m. Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. Let's go with you, Blue. When you're in the UK, hit me with what your work day looks like, or what your typical day looks like.
So my typical day, I wake up at 9 o'clock, go to the gym for 2 hours to an hour, and then I prioritize. So I don't go overload my work. I don't do just straight 10 hours of work. I prioritize 4 hours of pure hard work, and then maybe say it's like 4 o'clock to them. I have a break for an hour, maybe go to boxing because I box 4 times a week, and then I do another 5 hours of prioritize straight work, and then that's just my work day. I recently quit my job to go full time. I quit my job 2 months ago, so I don't have anything. I don't have anything to do except gym and boxing, and just prioritize my time to the role. So that's it, really.
Well, gotcha. Liam?
Awesome. Yeah, this is where I love. So I wake up, I do my normal routine. I read about 1 or 2 books, and then I hit to the gym or I hit the track. I start running my laps. Then I head straight. I come back home for a couple of minutes, and I do any sort of reflective time I can possibly get. Just to think, like ask myself important questions, find my problem, and then I find the solution to it. I head to school. I do my schoolwork on my break at noon, and then I would just, if I have extra time, I can do anything else like networking or content creation. I get home after school, and I will run at least 1 to 2 mocks a day, and then I'll also do some more content creation and just expand networking and sharpen my skills. And that's basically my entire day, every day.
Pretty solid. Mohammed?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, obviously, I'll optimize my time for whatever offer I'm on. So right now with the previous offer I was on, I was I also dropped out of school recently. So I wake up and basically I like I start like going out on my computer and like searching for offers, or that was what I was doing, right? Then after that, I gotta eat, since I'm fasting, so I gotta eat, and that's around 6 p.m. Time before, I don't really do like a lot of things because I wasn't really that busy because I start dialing at night, So after I eat, I hit the gym. Like after I hit the gym, when I get back home, I like before I start dialing and shit, I do some mocks with John, and I take a listen at my previous calls, see what I can do better, and then then I start dialing. I like dial like 100, 200 leads. After I dial, I take a look at those leads, and obviously I follow up and do all that. So yeah, it's basically my typical thing.
Perfect. Well, I got 2 more questions for you guys. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away. What would you say is your biggest strength in terms of you know, like like your lifestyle, right? I mean, like for example, I know a lot of people say that they're organized, right? A lot of people say that they are accountable, right? So what would you say is your biggest strength in terms of like what you're doing right now? And don't say you're motivated, don't say you're disciplined because everyone says that. And I'll write that down in the meeting chat as well. So let me just write that down so you guys can kind of think over it. Okay. And you can go ahead whenever, Mohammed.
Oh, it's me. All right, all right. Yes, I would say my biggest strength is not being lazy, and actually getting stuff done, because I know, like you said, a lot of people say they're disciplined, hardworking, everything, and like for a setter, one of the most important things is to be that. But I feel like a thing like many like setters or people in the sales space forget is laziness and actually productivity and getting their shit done, and actually hitting that volume, doing that extra mile, So I'd say that's my big strength in actually doing shit.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. I mean, especially with people in sales, right? I mean, a lot of people are just kind of like more talk, right? They don't really actually, they say that they're gonna do it, but they don't do it. Do you guys know what IBF is or IBG is? Intention based or intention behavior gap? No, it means what that specifically means is, and I learned this from my mentor himself as well. The more you say yourself, the more you tell yourself you're gonna do something, and the more you don't do it. For example, let's say you tell yourself you're gonna go to the gym and you don't actually go to the gym. You tell yourself you're gonna wake up at 5 a.m., but you don't wake up at 5 a.m. That's that's gonna compound eventually, and that's gonna help you. And everything that you say from that point, let's say your goal eventually is to hit 100K a month, right? Or make $1 million. All that from there on that point, it's not gonna matter because you don't. Everything that you say is not gonna matter at all, right? Because you say you're gonna wake up at 5 a.m., but you don't do that. Then how does that how does that align to like you saying you're gonna make 100K per month? You know what I'm saying? So that's a good answer, Mohammed. So what do you, Liam?
Yo, I'm so excited for this one. So for me, one of my biggest strengths is I like to keep everything simplified. I stay to 3 to 5 to anything because and that is what allows me to actually improve because I find I get the most improvement in ROI when I review. So I'm reviewing, I get off my coaching calls, I review, I see what I can do better. And that's where my strength is. And then like what you said, the IBF, like sticking to what you're saying, how you do one thing's how you do everything. And I have ADHD, so I just have like this amount and massive reserve of energy, and I just focus that down into one beam. So I realized recently too, like I have a lot of stuff I got to get done, but you don't actually get worried. You don't get worried by the amount of stuff you have to get done because you 90% of the time logically have the time to do it. What you're worried about is not doing the work. But if you stick to your word, you know you get it complete. And that's just something I learned a couple of days ago just by reflecting.
Okay, appreciate that. Blue.
Biggest strength is I would say I'm disciplined. I understand what I do. So competitive boxing, I fight once a month, and I know my craft, and I know what my craft and my discipline in boxing translates to sales. And I've also worked on many high-level offers, B2B offers, so I understand how to build rapport properly, speak to clients properly, understand all the psychology, and also understand what a good team is. So I would just say that's really that's just about all in one.
Okay, cool. John.
Yeah, I love like Mo that we've been prioritizing time to really just focus on our future. I mean, we're young. I'm 17, just turned 17, and we've already when we turned 13, we thought about starting an agency, that type of level. But I've just had this kind of drive to just improve myself, to prove that that young hustler mindset I had when I was young, that I can make that a reality. Also, on a more personal level, I have a lot of family in Philippines that's living out in poverty, and I really, really want to help them out because I've been given a life with a roof over my head without having to worry about floods and everything like that. And that's one thing I feel like if I can help them out, then I've completed basically what I've set my goals to.
Okay, cool. Well, last question for you guys before we kind of move on. And this is just kind of reverse. I mean, what do you feel like would you say is your biggest weakness? You guys mentioned that you guys had your biggest strength. What's your biggest weakness? So what you doing?
Biggest weakness. If I had to say something, maybe I have kind of a few times where I feel like I'm off, like a week where I kind of get like this thing where I'm demotivated all the time. I still do the work, but I don't feel like my work is at its best that week. That's kind of what I've been struggling with recently. I don't know. It just came up, but yeah, that's something I would say was my weakness.
Okay. Lou?
So like I said earlier, I would say like understanding how to like time my day. So I used to work like 10 to 12 hour plus days, but my work wasn't actually beneficial. Like it wasn't really high quality work. So then once I understand that, what I need to do and start doing 4 hour hard work and a break and 4 hours of hard work, that's when everything changed. So I would say that was my biggest weakness at the time, and it's still a weakness, but I understand it more and understand what I do now. So I'll just say really that, yeah.
Cool. Liam?
My biggest weakness is sometimes I find myself losing more time than I should when I'm reflecting. Like I'll be journaling and I'll just go like extra deep. And then I spend time trying to organize and synthesize it so I can actually show it to other people one day. But then I also find myself trying to make all these different systems that are like compactable that I can share in the future. And that just takes a lot of my time and I should be kind of focusing in the present.
Okay. Cool. And Mohammed.
Yeah, I'd say my biggest weakness is, always going for perfection, like always trying to do everything perfectly, because obviously that's not possible. And that's something that usually also slows me down when, especially like when I want everything to be, right. And I've noticed like this can also like affect how I'm doing all the tasks and what I do in my daily life. So,
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, appreciate you guys. I mean, that's pretty much all the questions I have on my side. Honestly, this would be a quick question as well for you guys. And I like to ask this for all the interviews that I conduct. If you had to choose one person on this call today, right, just based on their answers, based on what they've said, who would you like to work with in terms of that? Let's start with you, Mohammed. Like, if you had to choose one person on this call.
if I had to choose one person on this call, I mean, I don't want to sound biased or anything, but obviously I choose John, because since me and him we've been working together on everything, and not only because of that, but also because we can keep each other accountable so much. Like, also we always call each other up and like tell them like, yeah, what are you doing, bro, and stuff like that. Also the accountability, stuff like that. So I'd say John.
Okay, cool. You guys already got the chemistry. I like it. Liam, who would you choose on this call today?
Perfect. So I really like John and Muhammad. They've been grinding since they're like what 13. So these are some real G's right here. But honestly, Blue, all the experience, just statistics laid out. Yeah, I see you, bro. Yeah, I'm going with Blue. I really like his energy. Also, yeah, you guys are all killing it. I love hearing all your guys' stories.
Perfect. Blue, what about you?
So I'm not just saying this because he said me, but I was actually going to say Liam too because I like his energy, even though he hasn't had much fight experience. I can see he's eager and confident. And he knows what he's kind of talk about, and he's got a lot of good, got a lot of good energy. But like John and Mohammed, like yeah, they seem very good too. Seem very eager. So I'll just go with Liam.
Cool. And then John, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Mo, of course, because we know each other. We've been to school and went to school for a long time. We're best friends at this point. But just because Blue has so much experience, I know he has proven records. That's something. And Liam also saying he's doing content creation, already has some kind of knowledge with dog walking. That's pretty good. So I'd say everybody here is doing something well, and I love to see that.
Cool. Yeah, no, I know it was a hard question to ask you guys, but I mean, I appreciate all your guys' answers. Cool. So before, I go on with like the next steps for you guys, obviously my colleague will send out, one-on-ones as well to kind of like go further in depth to kind of know you guys more one-on-one. But other than that, before I do that, you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away.
What would be the KPI on the offer? What would be the KPI on the offer?
Yeah, so typically the KPI for this offer is $150 a day or 2 sets per day. I know most offers are like $200 or 4 sets. But just because obviously this offer is still kind of, it's established, but obviously it's not like, going over 50,000 or 100,000 a month. So, typically like to have the KPIs, I wouldn't say minimal, but on average, $150 or two sets per day.
So what, like the other dollars on the roll of fees, and what were they like making per month roughly, and how much dollars were they booking per day?
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time for me?
So the other dollars on the current offer that you have, how much calls were they booking per day?
Yeah, so our past setters, we don't currently have any setters right now at the moment, just because most of them weren't really hitting KPIs. We typically like to give you guys like a 1 to 2 month ramp up, see how everything's playing out. But typically our other setters, they were doing honestly anywhere from like 100 to like bare minimum $150 per day. And I'm not saying you have to do over $150. You can if you want, but most of them were just kind of doing like bare minimum $100 per day. They weren't really getting any closes as well. And obviously we have a coaching team as well, so it's not like they're not getting the sales training that they need. So it was more of just an issue on their side, like discipline wise. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing.
Can I ask one more?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask away.
So how much were they roughly making? Like the setters, how much do you think they were roughly making?
Yeah, so OTE, on target earnings, our highest setter that we actually hired, and me as well. I mean, I obviously used to set as well myself. Typically the highest that our other setter had made was anywhere from 3 to 4K USD. Bare minimum, you'll be making 1,000 or 1.5K USD. Along with the base that you'll be receiving, and we'll definitely talk about that later on one-on-ones if we do connect. But yeah, I mean, anywhere from 1.5K USD all the way up until like 3K to 4K. So that's like more than what that's more than I mean, I know John's in Denmark, so that's like $100 is 100 USD is like what, $600 Denmark or something like that. Yeah, there's some money to be made here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Liam, go ahead.
All right, so I got a question. It would be, after this call, is it possible I'm going to be on, or will I be getting on another interview to go like see if we naturally align, and if we do, we move forward?
Yeah, that is correct. So obviously my colleague Riley, she'll be sending you all you guys in personal email. I already have your guys' email, so I'll be sending that over. But yeah, it'll be more of a one-on-one, see if it's more of a culture fit. I'll also be explaining to you a little bit more in depth of the offer itself, how the base is going to work, how the pricing structure is going to work. So yeah, that is correct. We'll be conducting another one-on-one interview, and then we'll get you guys onboarded.
Sweet. Okay, and another question I have is, how would you say, because I just want to have a better understanding of how the entire industry works, how would you say the struggle is finding setters? Like, I heard they're pretty trainable.
Yeah, so finding setters in general, I mean, obviously, it really just depends, right? If you're on an offer that's just kind of like a startup, it's good for beginners because now you're ramping up, you're getting experience in, right? If you're like a beginner trying to get on like TJR's offer, like Red Scales' offer, something like that, right? Like those high intent, you're not gonna do well. It's just like if you put it into perspective, it's like this: like you've never played basketball in your life, right? How do you expect yourself to make it to the, the NBA or like the actual professional leagues if you've never touched a basketball in your life, right? Same thing goes for setters, So I mean, hopefully that answers the question in terms of like how you find setters and stuff like that.
Yeah, for you, how do you find setters? Like, I mean, how is it for you looking for setters? How long have you been looking for new setters, or since when? I'll start one question at a time. How long ago did you get rid of those setters that weren't really hitting the KPIs?
Oh, like I said, I mean, it takes me like a month or two for them to ramp up, just because obviously the first month could be not the best, and I get that. Second month is, it's all right. Just because, obviously coming from my perspective myself, right? I mean, obviously I started in high ticket sales as well, as a setter. So I mean, I know the industry pretty well. I mean, I cash collected like 150,000 on I'm pretty sure you guys know who Andres is, right? Andres, Yash.
Ooh, no, I don't know Andreas.
You guys know who like Cole Gordon is? Johnny Mao.
Oh yeah, I know Johnny Mao. You were on his offer?
No, I was working with him. So,
okay.
yeah, like I said, I mean, obviously, I do have the experience. So, but just to give you some clarity, I'm kind of looking for someone that is trainable, right? Someone who can actually take in everything and implement that feedback that I tell them to. But yeah, I mean, the past setters, I've just been looking for setters right now for like about like 2-3 days now. So, I mean, it has been a while. I mean, I hire in setters pretty quickly.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Cool. Any other questions at all?
Yeah, I got a go on. So is this offer like scalable? Could I go transition from a setter to ideally a closer in the future?
Yeah, 100%. Right now, like I said, I'm interviewing for closer right now. This offer's kind of, I wouldn't really hire in a closer right away just because like I want them to kind of like ramp up from being a setter to a closer. So yeah, definitely. I mean, if you want to be a closer, you can. If you want to be, a CSM, like a client success manager, you can go that route. So there's definitely lots of growth opportunities here in this company.
Perfect.
Cool. Anything else at all? Any last questions? Mohammed, Liam, Blue, John? No? Cool. All right,
I was waiting for everybody to take their chances, but I'm gonna swoop in. Okay, so I just wanted to say, you guys seem like some cool people to connect with. I was just wondering if it's all right if I like just put my Instagram and we can all connect and talk to each other after this call. Is that good with you guys?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've got mine down there.
Okay, and then for you, David, my question would be, what do you feel like I could have done what did you feel like I could have done to improve like this interview or how I present myself? Like you can kill me, bro. I want to improve everything I possibly can. And what better place to go than the person who I need to talk to?
Sure. So I will let you know if we do move forward in the one-on-one interviews. If we do not, obviously I'm not saying you won't or not. Then I'll have my colleague Riley give you everything in terms of like what you could have done better in today's interview. Towards your email as well, if that answers your question.
Okay, so you're just perfect.
Cool. All right then. Well, I appreciate everyone's time here. Look out for your guys' email. I do have I just want to kind of confirm I do have your guys' email. I want to make sure that I send it to the wrong people. Mohammed, yours is, let me see. Is yours
WHAD?
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, it's WHAD 4884.
Okay, gotcha. And then John, yours is John_DK23 at Hotmail.
Yep.
Okay, and then Liam, yours Liam Morin 50 at Gmail, and then Blue, yours Blue DJE at iCloud. Okay, cool. Well, I'll let Riley know. You guys should be hearing back from us in about like a few hours. Honestly, like an hour or two. And then after that, I mean, I'll be sending you guys over my personal calendar link. And then just book on there as well. And then we'll be pretty much conducting our one-on-ones there. And then from there, we'll pretty much get you guys onboarded if it makes sense for us.
Okay, so we'll get on the interview in like 2 to 3 hours from now, like the actual call.
No, so I will be talking with my colleague Riley. She's my BA. We'll be reviewing this interview. And then what we'll be doing is we'll be sending you guys a personal email to move forward on our one-on-ones. I will be sending you guys my personal calendar link where you guys can book on whatever time works best for you guys. And from there, I will be just onboarding you guys from that call, if it makes sense. So look out for your email.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right, then, guys. Well, I appreciate everyone's time here. Good luck. And I will be emailing you guys shortly. Talk soon, guys.
See you, boys.
All right, cool. So once that group interview is essentially done, I'm not going to go into one-on-ones just because like I want to keep it private, but that's when you essentially want to conduct group one-on-one interviews, okay? And then from there, that's when you can essentially onboard them and stuff like that, right? So let's say that you do find your candidate. Let's say that you do find your first person to essentially, or I guess your first setter, right? For most of you that are watching this video, you guys are probably just watching this to hire in your first setter or just find ways to outreach, right? So once that is done, you essentially want to have a training resource document. So I'm just going to go into school real quick just because I have all my training documents in here. So what you'll need to do is set up an onboarding call with your setter, right? This can be yourself, and obviously down the line as you hire in more closers and VA, like in setters and your sales team, you grow your sales team. You would want to essentially have a VA just do this for you, right? You send them the SOPs. you have all the SOPs in place, then that's when you can just kind of have them onboard them for you, right? So I'm gonna come into my thing here, and then from here, what your setters and closers can essentially do is come into Classroom, and then obviously right now I don't have any closers, right? So you can just put in like setter training 101, setter ramp up training, so they'll be able to click this, and there's gonna be a whole list of things for them to go through. For example, you know, closers, so there's gonna be like a document, so there's like SOPs for them to go through, like this whole thing that they need to get through to be able to understand the offer. You know, end of day processes, like exactly showing them exactly how to like do their end of days as well, like boom, right here, right? So it's essentially telling them exactly all of this, and this is very time consuming, but you know, once you're done with this, it's going to be there for forever, right? Unless you like happen to delete everything all at once. So once they go through the whole process of the training ramp up, that's when you can essentially, you know, build them out their own like their tracking system, right? So I'm gonna come into Google Sheets for you guys. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. So we're going to come in, and what is this? Okay, Google Sheets sign in. That was weird. That was pretty weird. So Google Sheets sign in. We're gonna come here, and then we're gonna come into the daily tracking sheet. So obviously you can see that there's like, you know, the tracking sheets as well. So obviously you can track how many dials they've done, the pickups, the conversations, the pickup percentages, the pitch percentages, total touch points, like just kind of like showing you guys exactly how everything works, right? So the reason how, or the way you can do this is just come into here, and obviously your setter is going to get prompted into, you know, always filling out their EOD, as well as always filling out their specific like BOD as well. So EOD is end of day and the BOD is beginning of day. So as you can see right now, you can see that, you know, he's pretty much done everything right now at the moment. You know, there's $125, 125, 137, blah, blah, you know, so you can essentially track everything. And once that everything is tracked in here in this specific sheet, it's essentially coming to here and tracking everything for him on this side, right? So as you can see, it's not just numbers that I manually fill out. Whenever he submits his EOD, it's come here and it's obviously gonna like pretty much do everything for him, right? Once that is done, then I'm actually, and you want to make sure that your setters do not have access to this, okay? I'm just gonna make everyone here as viewers, so that way they don't edit anything. But that's essentially it, right? So March, you can see my stats, you can see his stats. So you want to make sure that your setters have all this, right? And you can see like the notes as well, that are essentially tracked as well, right? So if you guys have trouble, if you guys want a separate video on how to actually navigate through this whole thing and actually how to set up a tracking system like this, just feel free to let me know. I will send you guys like a template for you guys to kind of like customize if you guys want. But other than that, I mean, that's essentially what you want to do. You want to have a tracking system like this, and that's essentially it. So we're gonna come into Slack now, and as you can see, these are the specific channels you want them only to be in, right? So obviously you want them to be in sales, like they can do the car reviews, so you want to add them in, their sales, their big BOD report, their EOD report, you know, and then all the leave notification channels as well, right? After that is done, what you want to do is, this is how you set up their workflow, right? So this is exactly how you want to set up their beginning of day and their end of day. So if we come into end of day, I'll start off with this. You want to start off with, you know, starting the workflow by starting it from a link in Slack. If you guys are using Discord, I'm not too exactly sure. I'm not really savvy with Discord, just because I've been using Slack my whole life. You want to start the workflow with a link in Slack, okay? After you do that, then you come into here, and then you're gonna just essentially, I'm gonna just edit this for you guys. You want to like add the setter, right? Once you add the setter, then there's gonna, you know, you want to also select the channel. So you just want to say like channel where the workflow was used. After that, just hit save. Then you're gonna come to collect info on a form, and then these are the information you want to collect on the end of day for your setter, right? So the setter name, the date, the dials they've done, the pickups, the conversations, the pitched, the amount of sets they have, the booked names, the people that you've set, how did you feel today or how did they feel, and then obviously set notes. So like the, you know, who they set and the notes that they've collected as well. Because every time you set someone, you have to put in notes, or otherwise the closer won't know, you know, they won't have a higher chance of closing that person, right? So that's the collection on the form. From here, you just pretty much come here and insert the variable. So like setter, person who submit the form, date, answer the date. Very self-explanatory, right? Book names, answer the book names. Today overall, how did you feel? blah 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 and stuff like that, right? And you want to send this into like the Setter EOD report channel, right? Once that is done, this is where you update it here, and that's where it kind of plugs into the Google Sheets that you connected. Come here, boom, you just connect the Google Sheet, you connect your credentials. After that's done, you want to come into here, so choose a column to search for, so date, so that's the first line, so that way they know what to look for. After that is done, sale value to find, so answer to date, date dials, answer to dials, enter the pickups, answer to the conversations. Very self-explanatory, like I mentioned. So that's essentially it, right? So I'm closing this card, and then beginning of form, same thing, start a link in Slack, and then here, obviously, this is the beginning of day, so we're just coming back into Slack, and then send a message to the person who used this workflow, blah blah, at the setter, collect the information. So it's gonna be a little different from the end of day questions, but setter, date, target dials, target pickups, target conversations, target sets, target pitch. So it's just essentially asking them like what your target is for today, right? And then stuff like that. So your target show rate, if they have 0 sets on calendar, 0 sets, right? Or 0% show rate, stuff like that. Once that is done, come here, same thing. So very self-explanatory. Setter, answer to the setter, date, answer to date, answer to target dials, answer to target pickups, blah, blah, and so on and so forth, right? And then just select the channel, and then it's going to send it over to a Setter BOD report, not Setter EOD. So Setter beginning of day report channel instead of Setter end of day report channel. Once that is done, come here, Google Sheets, again, date, answer to target dials, answer to target pickups, answer to target conversations, answer to target sets, and you should be pretty much good to go, right? So I'm gonna just pull up changes real quick right now, but that's essentially it for the workflows. I'm gonna exit out of Slack. That's essentially it. So once that is essentially done, the next thing for you now to do is obviously, there's still other things in terms of like ramp up, but you want to also make sure that I'm gonna come here and you add them into like this specific dialer, right? So this is the dialer that I use, not sponsored by the way, it's close.com. But you can essentially come here and then just come in the settings and just add them as like, part of your team and management. But once that is done, I mean, that's essentially it for your onboarding and you actually hire in your setters. I'm trying to think of what else there needs to be done, but I think that's essentially it. Oh yeah, one last thing as well. Once you essentially do that, you obviously have to train your setters. Like this is another job. You're essentially working on your business now, and you're also training your setter, because the more time you put in training your setter, the more better they're gonna get and the more bookings they're gonna get you, right? So what you want to essentially do is always have daily meetings. So I come in Slack again, and there's a specific channel where it says Ascendi's team meet huddles. Dude, all you got to do here is just like, make a workflow, add in the Zoom link, and every single day from Monday to Friday, it's going to send them the Zoom link 15 minutes earlier to let them know that, look, we're going to have our training meeting, we're going to have our daily sales meeting every single day at this specific time, and this is where we're going to train for 30 minutes to an hour, okay? And the more time you put into them, the more time you train with them, the better they're going to get. Supposedly, if they do put the work in outside of that meeting, then obviously they're going to get more bookings coming in, right? So overall, this is an effective way to get bookings. But if you've never trained someone, if you've never actually cold called yourself, if you've never really dived into the space of sales, it's going to be a little hard, okay? But as you grow, you're going to have to do this if you actually want more bookings on your calendar. So without further ado, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know them down in the comments below. If you guys want the Google Sheets tracking, if you guys want a template of that, just let me know. Comment down and I'll send it over to you guys. Or just connect with me on Instagram, send me a private DM and I'll send it over to you guys. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and leave me a subscribe, leave me a like, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.